this segment of the series.
Yeah, that's fine. So we were thinking a little bit about what we were gonna do now, and I think one of the things we agreed upon was we would make a small review on how this game was actually, how it felt like to play this game, right?
Maybe not a review, but we'll at least share our thoughts on it. Now that we both experienced it in a very specific way on the hardest difficulty, I think it's only appropriate we share our thoughts to show
Yes,
our
and
appreciations of this.
and while we talk a little bit about our thoughts, Christian will be playing a little bit.
Yeah, just some background video, but the idea of this is, since it is a race, there will always be one guy who didn't make it, and in the review we'll just have that as a backdrop so some people have something to look at.
Yes, if people in the comments, if we ever get more than 2 or 3 or 4 comments, really want him to finish the game, we might actually think about it a bit. But for now, I think this is where we are.
This is a finale.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe, potentially. I'm not gonna cross out the other possibility yet.
No.
It depends if there's like people really want to see him play through. He might just do it. But I feel like he has.
Yeah.
I feel like you might have a little bit of this project is now done because I won that first.
A little bit, yeah. I care a lot about playing parallel to other people. I like the game. I like single player experience a lot, but I don't play single player. I play with friends. So to me, the idea of playing it alone is not very motivating.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Also,
that's where we are.
I don't think you'll be looking at the best gameplay in the world, because this is going to be a talking heavy video. Whereas, as our viewers might have seen, the more intense the game got, the less we talked. It is it kind of follows with the concept of the FPS. A lot of your senses are taken in, visually, sound, everything. You have to focus like the more difficult it gets. So as the videos progressed, we started talking less and less. Especially I did. I started in the beginning. I talked a lot, and then slowly, as I fell more and more behind, I started talking less and less because I needed to catch up.
Well, that's just part of a race, but yeah.
I think it also has to do with the genre.
You really think so?
I think so, yeah.
Alright. That's fair enough. So I had some points I wanted to talk about this game specifically, and one of the things I wanted to talk about was the level design, at least.
Okay.
And I think the level design in the earlier levels was really amazing.
In the earlier?
In the early levels. I thought there was a lot of personality in them.
Oh, yeah.
So you just you arrive in a place, and you feel like there's progress, and you see the ship. You kind of get where you are, like you're on Mars. Well, I didn't know we were on Mars, but
no,
I could see it after you told me, right?
Yeah.
So you start outside Mars, and then you get inside this, I would almost call it a spaceship, like this facility.
Yes.
So it felt like, so it felt like there was some progress being made from level to level. But in the later stages, it actually became kind of emotionless. It was just like where you are right now. I would call this place Antarctica, right?
Yeah, it is cold. I have no idea why I'm here, but it's because after the teleportation, you just got put in another lab. And the problem is kind of the factory theme and the lab theme. They kind of blend together. It's all human construct, but it's very particular kind of human construct. It's without human, it's without society, it's just isolated.
I feel like my
was kind of charming, but every time I go into a laboratory, I feel the opposite. Like this corridor, for example. We've seen that a couple of times now.
I feel like my problem with it is that the teleport makes it feel like you're just jumping into a new place. Yeah. I want the feeling of advancing instead of teleporting into a new place. So that's at least my thoughts on the game levels. That I thought it was really good in the start, but then it got kind of worse later on. And another thing to really think about was also exploration. I know where you are right now, at least, but when you, actually, I will be honest. I didn't find that secret you just found.
What secret was it?
You just found a doll, right? I didn't find it.
Oh shit.
But it just feels like there was no real more explorations. Like you already have all the guns, you have all the fruit rooms, all the argent cells. There's nothing more. You're not really getting rewarded anymore.
There was
So
a
that was
time.
the point.
Yeah, there was a time when everyone had 16 or something like that extra skill level for no reason.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
at that
but
point,
like,
it was kind of the pinnacle.
yeah, exactly. It was like whatever. Who cares if I find another whatever shit, right?
Yeah.
So in the end, I actually just speedrun the game, which accelerated the game pace really hard, I think.
Yeah. No. When I stopped doing the challenges and all that. Also,
Yeah.
is it just me or did the challenges disappear, or did I not look well enough for them?
No, there was definitely more challenges.
There were a lot in the middle of the game, but then in late game I never saw them.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at like the challenge tab, and it told you where they are.
Ah.
And there are quite a few late game, but it's more like there's no need to get them.
Okay.
Because they are kind of hidden, so if you wanted them, you would have to
Go out of
Actually-
your way.
go out of your way to find them, right?
Yeah. See.
Like maybe right now there's a challenge in the air. If you just take a look in the air. Well, no, no, no.
Is it challenge or is it an upgrade? What do you mean?
Like a challenge.
It's
I
a
was thinking
challenge?
there might. I don't know if there is. I just didn't bother looking because I already
Oh,
felt
I
like
see, I see, I see.
all the challenges completed, right? So that's like you have to go out of your way that hard to find a challenge. Like at that
Yeah.
point is whatever because the game is almost over. You can feel just by how it's played, right? That the game's almost over.
Yeah.
Oh, what about the monsters? I actually thought all of the monsters were quite nicely designed. I felt like the imp was really well designed. I know you hate the imp.
It's a unique enemy. And
You know,
that one room with 25 of them kind of captivated my feeling of the end. It's just a never-ending monster.
I liked it. I felt like it was kind of hard to beat early game. I wouldn't call it hard, but it was like a small challenge, right?
Yeah.
And then you got used to it later, and it was still annoying. You still had to like pay attention to them, and that made it a good monster, good designed monster. Because you couldn't just ignore it.
They're intelligently made in the sense that obviously they are the one enemy more than anyone else that forces you to continuously moving, and it's kind of like clearly when we look at this, I'm supposed to move. I'm supposed to always be looking for ammo, even though that is not probably the optimal way of doing it. The optimal way is sitting in a corner, having like the best viewpoint I can, and then sniping. That's always the most optimal way of playing something like this.
I'm not
But in
entirely
doing-
sure.
With the imp,
sure.
it's very unlikely you'll get away with that.
Yeah, that's true. It's more like the imp definitely does make an
forces you.
impact, right?
Yeah.
But there's also like the sniper guy, the mancubus, the cyber mancubus, and the revenant. All of these kind of, do the same thing. It forces you to move.
The sniper guy was probably the best example of a useless enemy.
Really, I thought it was actually kind of annoying to deal with.
Really?
Yes, 'cause-
comparing him to the imp, like same
the thing
range,
with
same role.
The thing with the imp is it does very little damage.
It does 70. The fuck?
Yeah, but 70 is not that much. Imagine if you kill one enemy, you get 10 HP back, right?
Sometimes.
Every enemy, every enemy you kill gives a little bit of HP back.
My vital operating systems
Okay.
are
So all in all, I don't think the imp did enough damage. I was actually gonna say that. I felt like it was a well-designed monster, but I don't think it did enough damage.
Okay.
The sniper guy, on the other hand, it would always do 150 if you were too lazy to dodge.
Maybe. I never really got hit by him.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. I feel like the sniper guy was well designed and that was slow, but you got punished if you got hit. And the imp there was many of them, but you wouldn't, if you got hit, you could kind of brush it off, right?
Yeah.
So that's at least what I thought. The Hell Knight, I thought was kind of useless. It was fun early game, but just too squishy too.
The Hell Knight got redundant by the time the Pinky was arrived.
Yeah. That's
Because they have the same rule. Move around. Again, all of the monsters. Some will try to snipe you and then therefore force you to move around. Other will try to run you down. But it's the same idea. Continuously move, continuously play the thing, pick up ammo, discover secrets by accident. Have this kind of feeling of, damn, okay, I'm really... Like, it's more fun gameplay, it's more exhilarating.
The whole night.
Things that motivate you to like play the game the way the game wants to be played.
So like the pinky, right?
So like the Pinky, like the Hell Knight, like the Imp, like almost every monster.
I really dislike the pinky.
Me too, but only late game Pinky.
Yeah, I mean there was this room you will get to later. It was like the train, like I was stuck there for like an hour, right? And I think my biggest gripe with it was the fucking pinkies in that room. Because it was almost impossible to get behind them.
Almost impossible, yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe it was actually just me getting annoyed at them, but it's all good design. Maybe you're right, actually. I think the Pinky might have been a good design, no matter what.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would say Pinky is probably the one monster I would hate the most, and especially invisible one. Because it limits you, and it might have more to do with what we're doing and less to do with the game.
Yeah.
But it was so sound dependent, then I started getting annoyed.
Really?
Because visually, if you lose some senses while you're playing a monster, a lot of this has to do with sound. Obviously, I can hear right now what is around me, whether or not I'm supposed to still keep fighting or whether the event is over. And the music tells me that, but also the monsters continuously making noise tells me that. Son of a bitch. But with besides the sound, there was also always a visual way of telling me this. There's a lot of visual things going on, and the Pinky kind of removed that, because the first Pinky is not very visually noticeable, but the invisible Pinky is obviously not that.
Actually,
yeah.
I will just say one thing. I actually disagree, because the Pinky, they will always roar when they were charging up.
Yeah, that's my point. So when it came to sound, yes, you could play against the Pinky, but I miss being able to have the visual stimuli of this, because it's supposed to be chaotic. I'm not supposed to listen to everything perfectly. I like the idea of either I see it or I hear it. To me, that is when the duel is best.
That's fair. I personally never had a single problem with seeing the almost translucent Pinky, at least.
I also think one of the reasons why I dislike the Pinkies are they are best in the worst maps, which are corridors.
Yeah, agreed.
You would never see a Pinky in a map like this, because this map has some freedom to it. You get to basically play this the way you want to, whereas the Pinky is so poorly designed, it can only be in one kind of room. It can only be in a corridor, and doing in the corridor is not very fun.
Well, I'm just remembering that one place in the hill where it spawned 2 Cyberman cubuses after you took a key card or something.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was fucking... that kinda sucked, but it was funny. Yeah, whatever. Well, was the checkpoint too sparse was another thing I wanted to talk about. Because I know you had some thoughts about the checkpoints, like you had to ace a room before you could get a checkpoint, but...
It came and went. There's some rooms where it felt like, wow, okay, I really got a checkpoint almost every time I killed a monster.
Yeah, true.
But then of course there was the rooms that I had some trouble with, the ones where you got stuck in for half an hour or something like that. The marathons, and there was just... those were ridiculous. Especially, I think the worst one I felt like was, of course there was the one in Hell, because it just took me long and there was 3 encounters.
Yeah.
But there was also the one in the 3rd level with what do you call it?
Maybe.
The Hell Knight and the hands, and I do feel like that one was the most chaotic one I've felt in this game.
Yeah. So my thoughts on the checkpoints was I actually didn't feel it at all. I felt like the checkpoints were nicely put out.
Okay.
I get that sometimes you have to challenge yourself and defeat a lot of monsters in a row before you could get a checkpoint, but I thought that was actually charming. It was like a breath of fresh air. that you weren't always rewarded every time. Like sometimes you have to be a little bit better than you normally, right? So at least that was my thoughts on the checkpoint. I can see it could be frustrating if you got kind of stuck sometimes, but I felt like it was rarely the problem.
Checkpoints as a way of like making a game more difficult, I'm not sure if I have a problem with it. Like, of course, there's concepts such as like, so we read on what is the most, because there's more difficulty settings than the one we played. There's the one above it, and basically it's an Iron Man or it's a permadeath. If you die once, then you have to start all over. Obviously, that is way more difficult than what we have tried. But it's like fake difficulty in the way that, well, it's not the rooms, it's not the monsters, it's just the required perfection. And checkpoints being scarce kind of does the exact same thing. It's not the room being difficult, it's just a marathon. Sometimes you can have that, it comes and goes. So I prefer this to like just do everything perfect from go from the end to from start to finish.
But being able to do everything perfect is good, right?
I don't know. I don't think I like. I can remember one game where I like that kind of system.
I mean, there's a reason you have like a speed gun quick or whatever it's called, right?
What do you say?
Because the game's done quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it is difficult to be perfect in a really short amount of time. I actually feel like fewer checkpoints was, in my opinion, would be better.
In some games, I think I like them. Like, you know, Fire Emblem, like RPGs and something like that.
Oh yeah, where if you like lose one character, it's gone forever, right?
In those kind of games, I feel it's so appropriate because those games either require you, either they hold you to the perfect standard of, well, I hope you didn't skill the wrong point, or I hope you farmed for 20 hours before you ran into this encounter. Or they do the Fire Emblem way of like, well, I hope you just basically didn't fuck up and kill all your best characters.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't like the idea of farming forever in order to be able to play a game. So any like method of making sure you can play it in another way and still have it being difficult, I like. And scars, checkpoints, or permadeath can do that in those kind of games. But in games like Doom, I don't see it. Like I told you, I don't have a problem with every once in a while that is the difficulty, but I also feel like it's kind of cheating.
Oh, that's fair. I feel like the other way where you get too many checkpoints, it gets kind of boring. Because I don't feel like I feel like it comes a little bit back into what this channel is all about, which I will now go to instead of talking about checkpoints for too long. And that was we wanted to it's nothing against you at all. I just wanted to like proceed a little bit further.
Sure.
But this channel was actually about innovators versus owners, right? Because I tend to get good at games with whatever I'm doing. So if I wanted to use the rocket launcher a lot, I would, become more proficient with it.
That's the idea of honing, yeah?
That's the idea of honing. And with fewer checkpoints means I have more space, more time to hone my skills.
Okay.
So I feel like if there's fewer checkpoints, I'm forced to hone myself to a higher level than if I get too many checkpoints and I just die. I'll just respawn right where I left.
There's an idea of with too many checkpoints you can get lucky at one point and then just get through it. But
exactly.
Yeah, I see that.
And that's why I just want fewer checkpoints, because it felt like, well, I mean, I might actually get better, like I feel like I could actually show off, well, I got that good, but with too many checkpoints, it was just, well, I won once and now it's, whatever, I don't have to do it again.
Yeah.
So, at least from my perspective, I don't feel like it was, that good of a game for my playstyle, because I felt like the checkpoints was too many.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna ask you a question here. Did you feel like there was a lot of customizable content for you to actually innovate anything based on?
No, it was more path dependent. Like for example, I think this.
Yeah.
I don't think I picked the right upgrade for example, this weapon. And like sometimes because I got to watch some of the footage from you and from me, like I think picking the right customization or picking the right upgrade for a special weapon, like you need to be able to know it, and you don't get to experiment, you don't get to test. It's just choose correctly, figure it out.
Yeah, one of the things I was thinking about, sorry if I interrupted, but it was more like, I don't feel like there was enough
Customization?
grinding to actually get the stuff you wanted to.
Yeah.
So like, you are like kind of limited by the amount of field drones you find to actually, customize a bit, right?
True.
And if you don't find the field drones, you're just not allowed to try new guns. And that's my problem, at least with it, if I was an innovator like you.
Yeah.
You are finding all the secrets, that's actually crazy. I found 0 here. What?
I do. This is the first time I found so many of these.
Yeah, fair enough. You're kind of just finding every single thing.
This must be the train. I've heard.
Yeah, I think that's the train. I don't know if you can just jump down.
I don't know when I'm supposed to jump down. But
try to go the edge here, maybe. No, I don't think you can either.
Nah, I'm stuck.
No. Yeah, that's fine. No, I know where you have to go, but I'm not gonna, backseat your game at all.
Sure, no backseat.
Unless you want me to tell you, of course, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna talk about my points and see a little bit, comment a little bit if something funny like you finding 4 secrets in a row happens, right?
Sure thing, man.
But yeah, no, I felt like innovator-wise, I felt like the game was kind of sparse. There was not a lot of choices to make.
Yes.
And that might be one of the reasons you don't want to finish the game too, to be fair. It gets kind of repetitive.
I was kind of thinking about it. So basically, the skills I chose were all based on AoE damage. It was not single target damage, it was based on AoE damage. And I did that because the things I had trouble with was creatures like the imp. So basically I chose what can kill those. It's like this. Instead of like this. Like the free shot is not made for the imp, the noob tubing is. And by the end of it I had so many ways of killing the imp, even though I still had problems with it. But when I hit Hell, for example, and the Mankey boss and the Revenant and the Hell Knight was also I got to like fight against, this is useless. It deals no damage to them at all. So I had chosen the wrong upgrades, and those kind of fights they required like a playstyle that didn't suit the weapons at all.
To contain this heat, a massive super-cooled structure
like being able to adapt instead of just having chosen the wrong path is kind of like, I would have liked that more, but also gets why this is not that kind of game.
Yeah, maybe, fair enough. I feel like we're coming back to like the field drone problem. Because if you had enough field drones, you could always just press R, right?
Sure.
And
yes.
and then you can like get the other upgrades. So I don't know if there was enough field drones. To be fair, I didn't really go out of my way to find them, but at least I don't think there was enough customizable guns for at least your playstyle to actually shine a bit at all.
Yeah, I would like something like some more options than just the same thing over and over.
We played what was it called? What was the game called? Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
And that was like, I think that was the game that actually made us start this channel, I think.
That was the first one,
We did play that game, we didn't record anything of it, of course, but we played it parallel together, and every time Christian would be like, whoa, I'm trying this new dodge build cloud damaging shit, right? I was like, whoa, that's fair, I'm still using my needle. And it kind of made us think like, wait, this actually might be a good idea.
Yes.
So Hollow Knight was, in my opinion, the perfect game for our channel.
It's a good mix.
We have.
Yes.
Yeah, but we have already played it, so now we're just trying to find other games till Hollow Knight 2 comes out at least.
Yeah, there's a lot similar to that. It's a whole genre, but also being able to experiment. I don't think Doom is like it's not a perfect mix of this or that, of either play perfectly or adapt your playstyle. But I do think it does have those kind of elements in it.
Yeah, that was a little bit.
Yeah. Like, for example, is this very story heavy that we had to stop and really like find some things? Not very often. We barely even notice the story, which is very good for us because we didn't listen.
True. But yeah, so that's at least some of my thoughts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't call this a great game for our channel. Like, it was fun to play, and I did enjoy playing it. And I felt like most of the design of this game was actually kind of good. But I wouldn't say it was a good game for our idea about the channel.
No.
And I don't think our next game is either, to be fair.
And the next game being Edge.
Yeah, Planet Cube
Edge. Yeah.
But I
we-
feel like
we're
it's a
exploring.
short game. Yeah, no, we can try it again on this, but I feel like Planet Cube Edge is like a short game, so I don't think it's gonna be too bad.
No.
And, you know, maybe there is content in it that makes me think, wait, this was actually a great game, on the other hand, right?
Sure, and we
So,
shouldn't force ourselves into a scenario where we think we can only play one time.
Yeah, exactly, that's also true. So I'm just saying, I don't think it is the best game either, but I will, you know, try it out. There's no point not trying it.
Absolutely, we already bought it. Damn it.
Exactly, that's it, right? Another thing I really wanted to talk about was also like, what's it called? The BFG gun and the chainsaw.
The BFG gun and the chain gun. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
It's not gonna be that long, but I just felt like those two guns were, you know, it's like a cop out.
A little bit. A BFG is a panic button that you press on when the room is too ridiculous. And
Yes.
and you feel like you never can use it, like because maybe the next room is gonna be the terrible one, or maybe actually, or maybe there's no more rooms. So actually, I just wasted all my ammunition on the BFG by never using it. Like you have this feeling of BFG where you kind of get anxiety with it. Which I'm not very much into that. I don't like the super limited gun, the nuke button. If you only get to press it like once.
Okay. Personally, I just don't like the panic button at all. I feel like kind of ruins the game.
The cop out, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just really what I wanted to say. I mean, I guess I can kind of see why it's there if you feel overwhelmed or if you get stuck, but I feel like if you get stuck or overwhelmed, you just get better at the game, right? So I personally really dislike the BFG, even though I used it a bit.
I used
But
to
I felt like the time I was stuck at the train map for an hour was actually enjoyable, even though it sounded like I might have been a little bit tilted.
yes.
But I actually really enjoyed it because I felt like I had to, you know, perfect my aiming, my craft, my weapon usage a bit.
Yeah.
So the BFG kind of, yeah, I just didn't like it at all.
No, the BFG. I think the BFG is a good weapon for someone like me.
Yeah, maybe. I just didn't like it at all.
Like every time I see someone like that, I'm like, no, I'm not playing aside from Monkey Bus.
Yeah.
Down.
I mean, you are at the level where I can just talk about it a bit because I feel like we kind of almost done talking about this game at this point, right?
Yeah.
But at this level, right, what I did was I cleared all 4 cylinders. I just shot all 4, and then I used the BFG 3 times. That was the map.
Yeah.
You know, when I describe it like that, why even play the map then, right? It's just whatever. Like you go out, shoot 4 cooling shit, and then use the BFG, and that's that.
It is too strong. I will
It is
agree
too
with that.
strong. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I'm thinking about it.
Because I feel like I'm kind of through everything I wanted to talk about. To be fair. If it is, you can try one more time here and see if you can clear the cooling station, and you can think a little
I
bit.
kept missing the last one, but okay. I think one thing I would like to ask is like, do you think us filming this limited the experience?
No, not at all. Actually,
Like I told you before about the sensory statement of this, that it's a very sensory dependent game where you have to watch and listen and all of that. And because we're having a conversation, those kind of skills will not be optimized. Like,
Really?
I'm focusing, or I should be focusing more on you than I should be focusing on the game, I think, because it's a conversation and The other thing is just being antisocial.
Fair. No, well, I mean, every time I felt like I needed to pay attention to the game, I would just zone you out.
You just zone me out.
Yeah, so I never had a problem with that at all. Actually, I felt like it didn't really matter.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that I feel like us both talking a lot in the game might have been not that great for the viewing. What's it called?
The viewing experience. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we might think a little bit about that because Christian at least really wanted me to talk a bit more because he kept saying
In the beginning of it, you were very focused on it, and
so
I tried to
we
make up
tried
by talking a lot. And then,
we tried to like at least what's it called, swap it up a bit, right?
yeah.
But I'm not sure if that's the right thing. So again, if any one of you who watches this has any idea, you're welcome to leave a comment, and we will at least read all of them.
If you want Andy to stay quiet, I understand.
Yeah, if you just want to. yeah. No, I mean, I feel like it had more charm to it if you talked a lot, because you're a really charming guy when you talk. And I would just, add a little bit, and I'm really visual with when I die, at least, I feel like.
True. Also me. I was starting hitting the table by the end of it. Also, for the viewer's pleasure, I went out of my way, and I'm not talking into a webcam anymore. I actually bought a microphone. Not super expensive, but I do think the quality will be noticeable. Because beforehand, Andy and I have both edited different kind of videos. I edited the first one where I put more emphasis on showing one camp against the other. And in that I also put a lot of I got to listen to the quality difference between Andy and I a lot. And it was night and day. I almost never wanted to listen to me talk. Every time Andy said something, I was just immediately, okay, focus onto him. I want to hear that crisp voice.
Fair enough. When I was editing, I didn't really care.
You didn't get that.
No, I just didn't notice it. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything more to talk about. So if you want to finish this, you can finish it. If you have something to talk about, you have to say it soon.
No, I think that is it. You said this is a review. What did you find?
More or less.
Do you want to have a verdict or a number, or did you just want to share your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, actually, I just want to share my thought. But it might be fun to actually rate it, right?
I don't think it's appropriate.
You don't think it's appropriate to rate it?
I don't think our experience of it is makes it appropriate for us to review any kind of game, because what we're doing is hampering it.
More like a
supposed to play.
Fair enough. I thought we could both make a small rating for it.
For sure, I think this is a quality game. It's I like a lot about it. I like a lot about its energy and how it forces you to do stuff without saying a lot. All of that to me, I think if I played this, for example, not on the highest difficulty, but on something normal, and I played it for myself, I'd probably be so into this, especially with the music and all that. But raising it frustrated me a lot. And a lot of the monsters came off as redundant, especially on the highest difficulty, because basically they do the same thing. They kill you with one shot.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of one kill sometimes.
I think maybe on a lower difficulty, that is not the experience. You probably get more leeway. You probably get more of this guy actually deals more damage than this guy. But on the highest difficulty, they all deal the same damage. It's one shot.
Oh. I mean, I will just read a little bit about the damage, but I can see where you're coming from with this.
Yeah.
Because again, I still feel like they did too little. I feel like the Hell Knight in later stages also did too little.
This guy. People in the comment, can you please flame Andy for saying that?
Fair enough. It was more like cause the game had this thing where you got a lot of archers later on, right?
Hmm.
And I upgraded my ammunition to the max, and then I had, extra I could put into health, and at some point I just got so tanky that felt like it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
The half of the monsters at least.
I think the Argent cells are very interesting, but only maybe if you get the runes. So, for example, the idea of, well, should I pick armor or should I pick health? Well, basically, it feels like you're supposed to always pick health, even though I wanted to pick armor. Armor in this is very interesting in the way it reduces damage. It doesn't...
Oh, really?
It tanks more damage than normal health will. It's not like 200 instead of 100. It's more like... If you even have like 7 armor, you can feel the difference of taking a shot.
Fair enough, I didn't know that.
I think I noticed that a couple of times. So what I think is one of the runes, for example, would probably like make you gain more armor in one of these challenges. But since I never found that, then the interaction I had with armor was just not the full experience. Instead, I was always looking around but never really finding anything that could get me up to like the 100 armor, the 50 armor that I used so many points to be able to get up to. So it feels like I wasted my skill points by even considering armor at some point.
Oh, maybe you're right. I didn't even really think of that. In my head, you know, HP and armor was the same thing. Whatever, man. I just played.
You just played.
Yeah, I mean, there was not really. I didn't really think that far about the armor. I was like, oh. But now that you mention it, it does actually make sense. Why would there even be a difference between armor and health if, you know...
If they were the exact same thing, yeah.
If they were the exact same thing, yeah. So maybe you're actually right. I just put in ammunition and I was happy, right?
Yeah.
I also... Yeah, sorry.
You rush through it more. You try to... Like, that's also your kind of thing. You don't care to stop and then think a lot about like, oh, what does the armor do? You basically just want to hone your skills instead. You want to like be able to snipe. That's what you care about.
Yeah, exactly. Now you are actually on the train level, and I'm actually interested in this a little bit because I was stuck here for like an hour.
Okay, good. I think that's a perfect place to stop.
No. We at least one try, okay?
All right, one try.
Yeah, maybe 2. Whatever. Like another thing I found really funny also when I heard you play was like you kept saying that the ammunition was kind of useless, right?
Yes.
Oh wait, you're using the BFG? Fair enough, I guess the levels over there. I didn't have BFG ammo in this level, so it was really hard.
There were like 3 BFG ammunitions in the other room.
Yeah,
and then one when you go in here. So this is a good example of, oh, the room is too difficult, use the BFG, get out.
Yeah, whatever. Fair enough. But yeah, one of the things I found really funny was you were talking a lot about the ammunition. There was not enough of that, right?
Yeah.
I remember because I just edited this part. I'm sorry I haven't edited everything yet, but I just edited this part where you said the gauze cannon. What's the point of it? You can shoot it 3 times and then you're out of ammunition.
Yeah.
So it was you actually do get rewarded a lot by taking ammunition.
That's kind of a funny thing about the ammunition thing, which I think, because since we're playing in the highest difficulty, for example, if you choose to upgrade them later, of course, you always get your ammunition refilled, but what you also get refilled, for example, is the BFG.
Oh, yeah.
So let's say you are like me and you go into a room and you're like, I'm not dealing with this. I don't want to like spend 30 minutes trying to hone it. Instead, I just want to get out of here and go next. So what you do is you spam the BFG, then you find something like an Argent cell, and then you refill your ammunition and do the same in the next room, and over again.
But I don't feel like there's that many Argent cells where you just refill whenever you want.
Well, in the last room I think there was 2 to 3. In this, probably just 1.
Fair enough. I don't even know what it looks like, to be completely honest with you.
Really? It's a green circle. I just picked one up.
Really? That's
it? That's it.
I thought it was like a canister or something.
I know, right?
Okay,
I didn't notice either, and the game was not very good at telling.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if we played a normal difficulty, would there even be like a what's it called, an extraction? Like, what do we even call it? Whenever you start a game, it kind of teaches you the game, right?
Yeah. See, there's another.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's free?
There's free in this room.
Oh, well, okay, fair enough.
Notice, high difficulty room, all you need to do.
BFG, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, fair enough. That, you know, something new I learned, I guess.
Yes.
Wow, that makes this level so easy. Cause I did all of this without the BFG, and
Bragging.
yeah, no, I actually feel that's kind of stupid, but it was really fun because I felt like I could really, you know, remember where things spawned and remember how many shots it took to kill them and where to shoot them. So that's why I like this.
Also, another thing, because BFG is basically like we talked about that. It's a way of just like getting out of the room. But what I think also could have done that, but didn't really feel like it could have done that, was the power-ups. And the power-ups, unless you had like the melee one you were going around, not really that noticeable. Like, if you go around, you pick up power-ups and you get haste, you don't even care. You don't notice it at all. The invulnerability, every time I pick it up, I feel like, well, for some reason the monsters don't spawn now. I don't get to use this at all.
Okay.
So the power-up kind of felt like meh to me. I didn't want to go out of my way most of the time to get them. Even though I spent so many upgrades points on upgrading my power-ups.
Oh really? Because
Yes,
I felt like I would use the power-up as like a emergency health pack later on.
Exactly.
I felt like that was
it was just health.
kind of good. Yeah, I felt like it was kind of good.
That's not how you're supposed to use it. It's supposed to be like you run around. Oh, I barely got to use it, and now I get to turn around and do something. But it never felt like that.
Wait, you do know you have like one level left now, right?
Oh really? I'm that close.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, now it's up to yourself if you want to play it through. But I have nothing more to talk about, so... the last level is really easy, to be fair.
It depends on how many BFG ammos there is. Wow, you were really that close and you got stuck there?
No, well, I mean... Actually, yeah. Now you say it, because I actually don't... I didn't pay attention to the BFG ammo at all.
Yeah.
So maybe it's there, maybe it's not. All I know is that every time you cleared one level, you would get, there was like a ammunition for every single gun, healing to heal you to full, and armor to heal you to full armor too.
I do think
so
like,
if you just cleared one, it was just like, you know, you're ready to go to the next one.
I do think that part of the game is kind of charming, the idea of, because we don't have tutorials because we're playing on the highest difficulty, so a lot of the things are just random. We never got to find out how you use the hollow ammunition or
Actually, I was editing the video, right, today?
Yeah?
And apparently I said it to you, it's F1.
It's F1?
Look at your grenades.
How would you ever?
I mean, try it out. I don't know what it does either, but try it out.
I'm trying to throw it, nothing happens.
That's you!
That's me. How would you ever?
Well, I mean,
every key at some point trying to figure it out, and it just never happened.
That's funny, man.
But that's also a skill set, like exploring your keyboard, trying to do different stuff, noticing what does what. For example, the power-ups, the armor, the BFG. I also think that's a skill. And another skill that you had that I, for example, didn't was you were capable of noticing every weapon.
Yeah, that was really fucking funny, man.
I was incapable of doing that.
Yeah.
Which kind of means I got fucked up because I never got to use the super shotgun.
Yeah, if you actually found the super shotgun early, you would have been really fucking far ahead. Yeah, no shit. It was so fucking OP.
Damn, that was an easy level. What the fuck?
Yeah, fair enough, BFG abuser.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Very true.
That's it for me though. I have nothing more to talk about. If you want to make an outro or if you want to keep playing, that's up to you.
I'm gonna say thank you if you for some reason follow along on this journey.
Yep, that's perfect.
Yeah, I don't know, we had a lot of fun trying to explore, trying different things. It was a very experimental period, but I also think both of us learned a lot from it. And like the concept of this is also very clear still. The idea of what kind of games we want to play, because now we try some different ones, and like how to present it, I think has become much more clear throughout this experience. So I'll thank you all, and I hope you'll follow us on the next game.